This video is packed with some of the creepiest sightings ever caught on camera. Mysterious shadows, eerie beings,
Run.
and figures that vanish without a trace. Each clip feels straight out of a nightmare. So stick around, you don't want to miss this. This guy was just chilling, playing on his PC in his girlfriend's room, a place many people already said was haunted. At first, everything seemed totally normal, but then things got weird. He suddenly felt someone grab his neck, and the chair behind him slid on its own. Then some papers flew across the room, and the desk started to shake. It didn't feel like a prank or his imagination anymore, more like something warning him to leave. Taking no chances, he quickly ran out of the room before it got even worse. Haunted workout. A man set up his camera to record his late-night workout, but the video caught more than just exercise. While he was lifting weights, the door behind him slowly swung open with no one there. He glanced over, confused, but kept going. A few minutes later, the pumpkin on the table rolled off and fell on the floor. By now, it was clear something else was in the room. He didn't even bother finishing his workout. He bolted out, leaving the camera running to capture the eerie proof. Terrifying footage. So, this one is straight out of a horror clip. A shop owner laid out his floor mat, placed a stool and lantern nearby, and decided to nap right outside his shop. At first, everything looked normal, but then things started getting weird. The bottle tipped over on its own, the stool slid away, and the lantern floated like someone invisible was holding it. Even creepier, the mat began folding up around him as if it wanted to trap him inside. Just then, a strange figure dressed in all black, messy hair and a mask-like face slowly walked by. A moment later, the man jumped up and ran from there. Trash can creature.
Run.
This homeowner had been hearing strange noises outside his house at night, but whenever he checked, nothing was there. To prove he wasn't imagining it, he set up a CCTV camera, and that's when things got creepy. The footage shows a small figure crawling out from behind the trash can. Its movements were unnatural, and when it paused to look at the camera, its glowing eyes gave it away. It wasn't just some prankster. After a few seconds, the thing crawled back into the shadows and disappeared. The strange part is, the noises kept happening even after this night, leaving the homeowner deeply unsettled.
Run.
Creepy encounter. This TikTok video gave a lot of people goosebumps. It starts with a man outside at night, checking something in his car. Everything seems calm, the yard is quiet, and the forest nearby looks still. But out of nowhere, a loud, piercing scream breaks the silence. The man freezes for a moment before a strange, white figure darts quickly between the trees. Clearly spooked, he doesn't stick around to investigate and runs straight back into his house. What the figure was, or what it wanted, remains a total mystery. But the timing and the eerie scream made this clip unforgettable. Shadowy figures. This strange sighting comes from Guadalajara, Mexico, where a street camera caught something late at night that no one could explain. The road looked calm at first, but soon a dark smoke started to form in the middle of it. Within seconds, the smoke shaped itself into several human-like figures. They walked slowly across the road, their movements strangely coordinated, before fading back into the darkness. Locals who saw the video claimed it was proof of wandering spirits, while skeptics insisted it might just be smoke or a camera issue. Still, the way the figures moved together made it hard to dismiss. Dragged away. Late at night, a woman decided to organize her garage, not expecting anything unusual. While sorting through boxes, she suddenly slipped and was pulled across the floor as if something had a hold of her. At first, it looked like a fall, but the footage showed her being dragged several feet before she managed to crawl free. The strangest part is that nothing visible was near her. Viewers who watched the clip argued over what it could be. Some called it a trick of shadows, while others were convinced an unseen force was inside the garage. Either way, she never went back there alone again. Vanished outside. Two friends were hanging out late at night outside a pub, casually chatting when things took a sudden dark turn. Out of nowhere, one of them stumbled forward as if something had yanked him. At first, his friend thought he tripped, but the pull was too strong to be explained that easily. The footage showed him struggling, trying to resist, while the other tried to grab hold and help. But in just seconds, the man was dragged into the shadows and completely disappeared. No one could explain what had taken him. And since then, the spot outside that pub has carried a chilling reputation. Ghostly tricycle. This one feels straight out of a horror movie, but it was all caught on camera in the middle of the night. The street was completely empty, yet a tricycle suddenly started rolling on its own, as if someone invisible was pushing it. While that's creepy enough, things got even weirder. A glowing white figure appeared on the rooftop nearby, almost like it was watching everything unfold. The strangest part, a man who had been sleeping on the ground suddenly sat up and looked around, as if he felt something strange in the air. The whole scene leaves you wondering what was really happening that night. Backwards crawler. This street CCTV captured something that's honestly hard to explain. In the middle of the night, a strange figure with long hair appeared on the road, but instead of walking normally, it was moving backwards on all fours, almost like crawling in reverse. The way its body shifted looked so unnatural that people online immediately linked it to something paranormal. Some think it could just be a person messing around, crawling on their limbs in a bizarre way. But with the grainy footage and the eerie silence of the street, the whole thing gives off a ghostly vibe. Flying gazebo. Now this clip from Astana is something else. A CCTV camera overlooking an apartment complex caught a small park nearby, and right in the middle of it was a gazebo out of nowhere. The whole thing lifted off the ground and floated up into the air like it was pulled by some invisible force. It wasn't a little shake or tilt. It literally flew up and out of sight. The video was short and didn't explain what happened next, but you can imagine how unsettling it must have been for the people living there. Cafeteria chaos. In a hotel cafeteria, a normal evening suddenly turned into something straight out of a horror movie. One woman was sitting quietly when her chair slid back on its own. At first, she thought it was just loose flooring, but the next few seconds proved otherwise. Tables shook, plates clattered, and chairs toppled as if some invisible force had taken control of the entire room. People nearby rushed out in panic, while the woman was left frozen in place, unable to move. Eventually, she also got out of there. Since then, no one dares to eat there at night. Shape on the street. Late one night, a street camera picked up something unusual. A dark animal wandered down the road, moving slowly, like a stray. Nothing too strange, until the figure stopped and, within seconds, shifted into the shape of a person. The transformation was so quick that anyone watching would have missed it if they blinked. What's even creepier is that the man didn't act surprised at all. He just walked calmly inside a house, as if he belonged there. When the footage was reviewed later, the homeowner was stunned. Since then, people passing that street at night say it never feels empty anymore. Dark encounter. Early in the morning, a CCTV camera captured something that confused almost everyone who saw it. A young boy was walking calmly across an empty ground when, out of nowhere, a strange black shape appeared beside him. The boy froze for a moment, as if something had brushed against him, but when he looked around, there was nothing there. What makes it so strange is how the shadow moved on its own, not matching his body or anything nearby. Some think it was just a glitch in the camera, but others are convinced it was a dark presence making its move. Either way, it's unsettling to watch. Dark Protector. Late at night, a guy noticed someone trailing him down a quiet street. At first, he thought it was nothing, but the stranger's pace grew faster and more aggressive. Just as the man was about to corner him, something eerie happened. A dark, shadowy figure appeared right beside the guy, almost like it stepped out of him. The strange entity didn't even need to touch the stranger. Its presence alone was enough to send him running in fear. What's unsettling is how the shadow vanished the moment danger was gone, leaving the man shaken but safe, almost like it was guarding him. Creepy sighting. CCTV footage from San Vicente Chicoloapan, Mexico, captured something that still gives people chills. The video shows a strange pale figure moving slowly down the street, almost floating just above the ground. What makes it even creepier is how the local stray dogs reacted, barking and circling the figure like they were trying to figure out what it was. At one moment it looks pale, but under the streetlights it seems to turn dark and shadowy, almost like it was shifting colors. The figure doesn't run or hide, it just drifts along the road until it disappears into the night, leaving everyone unsettled. Roadside Phantom. This footage shows something that makes you want to replay it a few times, just to be sure. A strange, translucent figure, hunched over and limping, can be seen moving across a busy road in the evening. What's odd is that none of the drivers or bikers slowed down, swerved, or even reacted like they saw anything in front of them. They just kept moving as if the road was clear. But on the camera, the figure is right there, crossing from one side to the other. It looked almost see-through, like a shadow with form. A strange sight that's still hard to explain. What do you think was that? Tell me in the comments below. Warehouse Ghost. Back in 2017, a strange clip from a warehouse started making rounds online. At first, it looks like a normal night shift with forklifts moving around as usual. But then, one suddenly goes out of control and crashes into a storage lane, knocking things down. At first glance, it might look like just an accident, but if you look closely, there's something odd in the footage. A faint black shadow near the forklift right before it lost control. The shadow drifts away as the machine crashes, almost like it caused the whole thing. Whether it was just a glitch or something paranormal, this one still gives people chills. Ghost bike. A motorbike was caught moving on its own through an intersection with no rider in sight. What makes it even stranger is that a car actually stopped and let the bike pass, almost like the driver saw something we couldn't. Some people say it looks like a ghost bike. Others think maybe aliens had a hand in it, while a few believe it was just rolling by itself after losing balance somewhere else. Whatever the case, the empty bike cruising smoothly through traffic makes this video look more eerie than ordinary. Floating figure. This clip was filmed late at night when the streets were completely empty. The footage showed a strange, ghost-like figure suddenly crossing the road at an unusual speed. What stands out is the way it moved. It didn't look like walking at all, more like it's gliding across the ground. Some viewers think it could just be a glitch from the camera, but others aren't convinced. The figure appeared clear enough to make people wonder if it was really there. With nothing else happening in the frame and no one else around, this floating movement makes the short clip feel both eerie and puzzling. Haunted classroom. This strange incident took place at a school. The staff there had been feeling uneasy for a while, so they decided to put up a CCTV camera to see if anything unusual was really going on. And what they captured was shocking. First, the back of a cupboard suddenly fell off with no one near it. Then, a wall post came loose and dropped straight to the floor. Not long after, a chair began to sway side to side, as if someone invisible was moving it around. The empty hallway looked completely normal otherwise, but these moments left everyone seriously unsettled. Misty figure. This clip was shared by TikTok user La Huela del Terra in August 2021. It shows security footage from a busy road somewhere in South America. At first, everything looks normal, until a misty figure seems to appear out of nowhere on the roadside. The figure takes a few slow steps before fading away just as suddenly as it came. Some people think it might be a ghost or spirit caught on camera, while others believe it's just a glitch or some kind of optical trick. Since the exact location wasn't shared, there's no way to confirm what really happened, but it definitely left people scratching their heads. Forest witch. A group of hikers in Scotland filmed something that gave them chills. From a distance, they noticed a strange figure moving oddly, so they zoomed in with their camera. What they saw looked like a woman with long gray hair, wearing a red skirt, spinning around in circles and making unusual hand gestures. Many are calling it a witch performing some kind of ritual deep in the forest. The eerie setting and the way she moved only added to the mystery. Some say it could have just been someone acting strangely, but the video definitely feels unsettling to watch. Half-bodied walker. This CCTV clip shows a group of friends hanging out late at night, laughing and scrolling on a phone. Everything seemed normal until one of them froze and pointed straight ahead. A boy in a cap walked past, but only the top half of his body was visible, moving forward without legs. The friend who noticed screamed and everyone ran outside. When they replayed the footage and saw it for themselves, they couldn't believe what they were looking at. Was that a ghostly entity or something else entirely? You decide. Dogs sense presence. Late at night in a small village, a stray dog suddenly went wild, barking toward the empty street. A man nearby decided to check his CCTV to see what had set it off, and that's when he noticed something strange. In the footage, a shadowy figure drifted across the road, almost blending into the darkness. The dog seemed to notice it clearly, even though no one else around did. What's even creepier is how the figure didn't make a sound, not even footsteps. Just floated past and faded out of view. The dog eventually quieted down, but the mystery stayed. Morning phantom. One man reviewing his Ring camera early in the morning found something he couldn't explain. A tall, misty-looking figure passed right by his driveway. From the waist down, it looked solid, like a person rushing somewhere, but the upper half drifted like smoke. The strangest detail, everything else in the frame, cars, people walking in the distance, looked perfectly normal. Only this figure seemed out of place. Some viewers brushed it off as a glitch, but the clip clearly shows a shadow forming on the ground as it moved. Salt backfired. A homeowner was tired of the odd things happening around his place. Doors moving, lights flickering, so he decided to try a simple trick he'd read about, sprinkling salt. He thought it might calm whatever was disturbing the house, but instead of peace, things got worse. The cross on the wall slightly twitched, like it was being nudged. Then, one by one, the kitchen cabinets creaked open on their own. He tried to brush it off until a chair toppled to the ground with a loud thud. That's when it hit him. The salt hadn't worked at all. It had only stirred things up. Glowing angel. This outdoor security camera caught something that left the homeowners completely stunned. At first, the footage just shows a quiet street at night. Then, out of nowhere, a bright glow appears on the right side of the screen. It floats in the air and slowly begins to change shape. The glow soon looks like a figure with wings, a head, and even what seems like long flowing clothes. It hovers there for a few moments before slowly fading away into the darkness. When the owner reviewed the footage, he couldn't believe what he had just seen. Many people later said it looked exactly like an angel. What's your take on this? Midnight encounter. A security guard was doing his regular night patrol when things suddenly turned unsettling. While checking an empty corridor of the building, the CCTV showed him stopping as if someone invisible had grabbed hold of him. He tried moving several times, but it was like he was stuck in place. Minutes later, he managed to call for backup, and only when another guard arrived did he finally break free. The strange part, cameras around the area showed no one around him. Just him struggling in the dark. The incident left many wondering if something unseen had singled him out that night, and why it let go only when help arrived. Farmyard intruder. One late night in a small Mexican village, a farmer's security camera picked up something he never expected. At first, it looked like a pale shadow drifting along the edge of his land. Then, right on camera, the shadow slowly shifted into the shape of a person. What's even stranger is that the figure didn't just linger outside. It walked straight toward the house as if it belonged there. The farmer only discovered it later while checking the footage, and since then, he says the place hasn't felt the same. Even when nothing's there, he swears the farm feels watched.
The hell is it? That is insane. Look, it's just disappeared.
Midnight dancer. Late at night, a man noticed something strange outside his window. On the quiet street below, a woman was slowly dancing, moving in an odd rhythm as if she didn't care if anyone was watching. At first, he thought maybe she was just lost or acting strangely, but then she froze mid-step and turned her head sharply toward his window. That's when things took a chilling turn. People online later claimed the scene looked exactly like the so-called Serbian dancing lady, a mysterious figure known for appearing alone at night. Her sudden movements and eerie stare made the moment feel far more unsettling than a simple dance. Invisible grip. Late at night, a man returned home and unlocked his front door. Everything seemed normal until he suddenly stumbled backward as if something had yanked him with force. The security camera caught the whole thing. No one else was there, yet his body jerked as though an invisible hand had grabbed him. He collapsed right at the entrance, lying still for several minutes before neighbors came running after hearing the commotion. They found him shaken and weak, unable to explain what had just happened. Whatever it was, it disappeared without leaving a trace, turning a regular night into one of pure confusion and unease. Fading stranger. A family in a quiet neighborhood shared security footage that gave everyone the creeps. Around 2 a.m., a figure appeared on their driveway, walking slowly as if it was looking for something. At first glance, it looked like a regular person passing by, but within seconds, the figure started to blur and then completely vanished.
See, if you were alive, you might
Weird.
see worry.
Then just disappeared.
The homeowner thought maybe it was a trick of the camera, but when they replayed the clip several times, the same thing happened. No distortion, no cuts, just a person who faded into nothing right in front of their home. It was eerie, and no one could explain it.
I'm not drinking coffee.
Vanishing man. A strange clip surfaced online showing a man walking down a quiet street at night. At first, nothing seemed out of the ordinary, just a regular guy heading somewhere. But as he reached the middle of the road, his body started fading until he completely disappeared on camera. People thought it was some editing trick, but those who looked closely noticed the shadows and reflections all stayed the same. That's when the theory spread. This wasn't a man at all, but a ghost moving through the city like he belonged there. For many viewers, it was an unsettling thought that maybe such figures blend in more often than we realize. Gliding shape. One late night in Dallas, a man was checking over his outdoor cameras when he noticed something that instantly gave him chills. On the screen, a pale figure was moving across the street near his neighbor's driveway. But here's the strange part. It didn't walk like a person. Instead, it slid along the ground, almost floating, with its arms stretched forward as if pulling itself. No legs were visible, no normal steps. Just a smooth, eerie glide. The man thought maybe it was some kind of glitch, but the footage played back clear. When he showed it to his neighbor the next morning, neither of them had any answers. Midnight encounter. In this CCTV clip, a young woman can be seen stopping right in the middle of an empty road late at night. At first, it looks like she's just standing there for no reason, but then her body language changes. She starts moving her hands as if she's talking to someone. The strange part is, no one else is visible in the footage. She nods a few times, almost like she's listening and responding. After a short while, she suddenly steps aside and walks away, leaving behind more questions than answers. Whatever she was seeing, the camera didn't catch. Midnight River. People say nothing good happens by the river after dark, and this clip might prove it. A man was seen walking near the water late at night, maybe just taking a shortcut home. At first, everything seemed fine, until the water suddenly rippled in a very strange way. Out of nowhere, a long, shadowy arm stretched out and tried pulling him toward the river. The man panicked, stumbling back just in time to escape. He ran off, leaving his belongings behind, too shocked to even look back. Locals later said the spot has a history of mysterious drownings, making the footage even creepier to watch. Walking legs. One night, a street camera recorded something that didn't make sense. Two strange legs appeared in the frame, moving without a body. They walked in a stiff, unnatural way, almost like they were gliding across the street. People who saw the clip couldn't believe it because locals had often whispered about wandering legs appearing at night, but no one had ever managed to capture it on film before. This video changed that. Some believe it's just a glitch in the camera, while others are sure it's something paranormal. What do you think? Tell me in the comments below. Poolside mystery. So there's this CCTV clip that's been making people scratch their heads. A guy was just chilling by the pool with his wife, both of them talking casually. Nothing seemed odd at all, until suddenly, she wasn't there anymore. No walking away. No sign of her leaving, she just kind of blinked out of the frame. The husband looked around, totally confused, and you could almost feel how strange the moment was. When the video hit social media, some viewers called it a glitch in reality, while others said it felt more supernatural. Whatever it was, the vanishing act still doesn't have a clear explanation. Vanishing runner. A group of friends went jogging through the woods one evening, laughing and keeping pace with each other. Everything seemed perfectly normal, until one of them noticed something strange. The man running in front suddenly disappeared mid-stride. No stumble, no pause. He was just gone. The group was shocked, but when they replayed the phone footage they had been recording for fun, the moment was clear. 1 second he was there, the next he had vanished like smoke. Some thought it might have been a trick of the light, but others believed he stepped into something beyond this world. And that night, no one finished their run. Guardian Angel. There's this wild clip floating around online that has everyone talking. A woman is walking across the road late at night, looking pretty relaxed, when a car comes racing toward her out of nowhere. It looks like she's about to be knocked over. But instead, something unbelievable happens. Right before the car reaches her, she suddenly appears on the other side of the street, safe and untouched. No clear figure is seen helping her. It's just like she teleported in an instant. What's your take on this one? Open discussion. This clip shows a girl walking alone down an empty street late at night, but her behavior didn't seem normal at all. She moved slowly, almost like she was in a trance, before suddenly stopping in the middle of the road. For a few seconds, she stood completely still, then tilted her head in a strange, jerky motion, almost like she was listening to something unseen. After that, she calmly walked out of frame, as if nothing happened. Some people think she might have been sleepwalking, while others believe something paranormal brushed past her. Either way, the footage left viewers with chills.